real good. Like, my makeup is really on point today. Like, hello. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow palette review on something brand spankin' new from Rimmel London. I haven't seen a lot of new things come out from Rimmel in a little while. Of course, we're living in some troubled times at the moment, so I'm not expecting any massive makeup releases. But when I was at the pharmacy the other day picking up a couple of prescriptions for my mom and dad, I just, happened to take the scenic route and I walked through the makeup aisle and I came across this really beautiful display of some brand new Rimmel, what I'm guessing is spring and summer launches. I saw some jelly blushes, some cream highlighters, I saw a couple of lipsticks, some eyeliners. None of that kind of interested me. I tend to steer away from cream products for the most part, but what did catch my attention was, of course, the new mini eyeshadow palettes that they released. If I remember correctly, at Shoppers Drug Mart, they did have about 5 to 8 different color stories in the mini palettes, and they were a little bit on the pricey side for Rimmel. They're definitely not palettes that I want to stock up on unless they happen to be on sale. And besides, I want to try out the formula, see if I like it, see if they've made any changes to it before I invest a bunch of money in buying more eyeshadow that realistically I don't need. And so at $14.99, that's right, $15, I went ahead and purchased this eyeshadow palette. This is the Mini Power palette and I got mine in the color story Fierce. The actual product itself comes in a plastic case. It's not like we've never seen this before. You have 4 eyeshadows in here. There is a cream product, which I believe is a lip and cheek topper. I'm certainly not going to be using that. I tend to not like a lot of drugstore cream products, and when they're mixed in with an eyeshadow palette, it just don't work for me. And then you have this deeper shade over here, which is meant to be a highlighter. Now, I do think this is going to be a little too dark to highlight on my cheeks, but I'm going to see if I can use it on my eyes. What is different about this palette than, let's say, some of these palettes that you're used to seeing from Rimmel is that this one here contains a vegan formulation. So for anybody who is going more towards vegan makeup, this could be a really good alternative for you. If I very carefully and ever so intelligently put on my glasses just to look at what the ingredients are in the palette, very briefly, I'm seeing that this is a mica-based formulation, so keep that in mind. There is talc in this product, in the eyeshadows in particular. I'm seeing dimethicones. I'm also seeing aloe, coconut oil. Nothing super irritating aside from the usual culprits. So ultramarines are still embedded in here. I'm seeing titanium dioxide as well as iron oxides. So just keep those in mind. Sometimes those can cause irritation to those who have really sensitive eyes. So as always with makeup, patch test before you fully slap it on your face because you never know what could happen. I will be putting this eyeshadow palette to the test and I want to create an eye look with it momentarily. But before I do that, I do want to share a couple of other drugstore palettes that I have that I think are a good comparison to this. And of course, like, I'm going to start off by talking about the Rimmel palettes. I've got a few of them. Yes, I actually really like this Rimmel formulation. I think these eyeshadow palettes are wonderful. They definitely do the trick if you're looking to create some fun looks. So for Rimmel to go from this to this is really interesting, and of course I think they're just testing out their vegan formulation. Maybe in the future they'll reformulate all of these palettes to make it a vegan formula as well, but for the time being, this is what the brand is currently offering as brand new. And for me, the closest comparison to this palette, and I immediately thought of it when I saw this especially because of the packaging, is the Maybelline City Mini palettes. So If I put them side by side, hopefully without the glare of the camera, you can see that they are almost identical. They have the same black border around the eyeshadows. There's a clear plastic glass on top. On the back of the palettes, you have the ingredients and different ways in which you can use the eyeshadows. And of course, if we're gonna look at the primary differences, I mean, in the Rimmel palette, you're gonna have the 4 eyeshadows, a lip and cheek cream thing, and then a cheek highlighter. Whereas in the Maybelline palette, you just have a bunch of eyeshadows, no cream products. But if I'm looking at this color story, so let me remind you, this one right here, and if I compare it to the Cocoa City Maybelline palette, open up, there we go, they look really similar. Are they identical? No, but I think they're very similar in the way they're set up and the tones that they're using. The other palette I'm just going to share with you briefly is this one here from Wet n Wild. So again, same plastic packaging. You crack it open and this one gives you even more eyeshadows. So if you compare it to the Rimmel palette, you certainly get more options with the Wet n Wild one, and I know for a fact this one is much more affordable than this one. So that right there is just a little bit of food for thought when it comes to other options at the drugstore. Do what you will, test out what you want, spend your money where you want to spend your money, or better yet, just keep it in your pocket. That's been enough preamble. I think it's time to zoom you in so we can do my eye makeup. Just before we dive into the eyeshadow palette, I want to quickly mention that I've tried a different camera setting in terms of the way it captures light. I tried to make it a little more cooler toned, only because the previous settings that I had kind of altered a little bit too much with the white balance, and I had to do a lot of color correcting on the back end when I was editing. So I hope this is a little bit better. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the new lighting situation. If it works, awesome, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'll just revert back to the old one or continue playing with settings until I find what works best. So with the eyeshadow palette, I'm just gonna go in with this very neutral color over here, and I'm gonna take a very non-drugstore brush. This is a Hakuhodo brush. It's the B142. As I dab it in, I'm noticing a little bit of kick up in the pan, but nothing to cause concern. So I'm gonna, ooh, that was a lot of excess. Tap that off, and here we go. So I'm just going to very hastily put this all over the concealer I use as primer on my eye. And hopefully this color is gonna help some of the other ones blend out well. Am I noticing anything drastic at the moment? Absolutely not. I think this color is very close to my natural skin tone, so of course it's not going to show up very well on my skin. On a side note, my eyebrows have gotten really crazy. I actually stopped waxing them about, I'd say 8 or 9 months ago, just because the hair wasn't growing back very quickly. But now that I've grown them in a little bit, they're getting really bushy towards the end, and I feel like I need to shape them, but obviously I can't, and I'm too scared to do it on my own. So I've been trying to use a little bit of concealer sort of on the tail end of my brow here to cover up any excess hairs and give it more of a sharper point. That came out really weird. I said hairs. Some sort of weird accent. Very odd. Okay, I feel like that color laid down well. Not that I can really see it. I mean, it's there, but it's not super prominent for obvious reasons. For the next color, I'm gonna dive into the only other matte color that exists in this palette right down here. I'm taking this Morphe brush, and this one definitely has more fallout or kick up in the pan. Again, no big deal, blow it away, tap off the excess, and go to work. So I'm just going to stick this one into my crease. Okay, that's soft. Maybe when I tapped off the excess, I just tapped off the eyeshadow. Dang. Let's try that again. So I really just dug my brush in there. I don't want to tap off too much, but I also don't want a bunch of fallout on my cheeks. Oh, Okay, there we go. Hello, welcome to the party. It's great to have you here. Yes, okay, that's actually a really nice color. It's definitely true to pan now. I was a little bit more worried on the initial application. So I guess my advice to you would be to just go in hard and just take your time blending. The pigment is there. You can also just build it up as you wish. It's blending out really nicely. I have no issues with that. I'm gonna go back into the original cream color and my original Hakuhodo brush. And the only reason I'm gonna do this is because I wanna soften up the outer edges of that shadow. And that's doing a very nice job. Yes, yes. Work together, my shadows, work together. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. I think the colors blended beautifully. The pigment is lovely on that deeper shade. I have no complaints right now. Here's the problem when you use a palette like this that has very limited shades. I don't want to say you can't create a full look using this palette. I'm thinking I want to do a halo eye because I didn't really think about this much in advance. I think a halo eye might actually look really flattering. I don't just want to do my usual, or maybe I should because my options are limited. I wish I could ask you guys in real time right now. What do I do? What do I do? You know what? I've decided. I'm going for the halo eye. I'm gonna take that same matte color, the deeper one. I'm gonna take a really small brush because I don't have that much lid space at the moment. And I'm just going to pat this color in my inner corner. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's see if I can make that just a little bit darker. Oh, that's really nice. Y'all, this is a good everyday color. You could slap this one all over your lid and be good to go. It's very flattering. And a little on your outer corner. Ah, crap. Oh. Okay, so this is why I don't like cream products in powder products, because I just accidentally dabbed my eyeshadow brush in the cream product, so yay. Just going to dust away some of the fallout. I'm gonna dive into this more like orangey, coppery color up here. Hopefully this is gonna be a nice, reflective metallic. Ooh, that's nice. Do you guys see that? I mean, it's really close in tone to the matte color that I have all over my lid, but I actually think it works quite well. Let me see if packing it on with my finger will make a difference. I don't know. I think it applied pretty much the same. I'm gonna try spritzing my brush now. This is kind of my last ditch attempt to make this really, really super metallic. Just got my MAC Fix Plus. Okay. So that's about as intense as it's gonna get. I think what I'm gonna try to do, just to break up the look a little bit more, because it looks very like orangey red at the moment, is to go into this highlight shade over here. I was planning on using this on my eyes because I don't think it's gonna work really well as a highlighter on my cheeks. So what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit on my finger and just at the base of my lid, I'm gonna tap that in very, very gently. And that right there is giving me, ooh, yes, yes. a much better vibe with this look. So as to not waste that much more time on camera, I am gonna quickly pop off camera to finish off the other eye, add some liner, mascara, and lashes, and then come back so we can do the lower lash line together, and then give you my final thoughts. And here we are, both eyes are finally finished. The only thing I don't like about this eye here is my eyelash. Unfortunately, I ended up cutting it just a little bit too short, and so I feel like I'm missing a piece in my inner corner, so you'll have to excuse me on that end. These are Kiss lashes. I think they're pretty cool. I got them at Winners just before the lockdown took effect, and these were only $3.99. I mean, super affordable. They're a little bit shorter than what I'm used to wearing when it comes to lashes, but I kind of like them. I don't know what it is about them, but they look a little more natural-ish. Not to say that false lashes ever look natural, but I don't know, these kind of blend well. I really, really like the way the eyeshadow is looking up top. I think all we need to do is add just a little bit on the bottom. And in order to do that, I'm just gonna take an angled brush, the same matte dark color that we've been working with for this whole look pretty much. And I'm going to very gently just tap that puppy in like so. I'm gonna take this flat Morphe brush over here, and I'm just lightly gonna tap into this lighter matte color, and with that I'm just going to blend out the shadow a little bit, just smudge it ever so slightly. And just grabbing a little bit of mascara. This is the J-Cat Beauty lengthening mascara. I'm gonna very lightly tap some of it on my lower lash line. I don't want to go in too hard. I kind of want to keep this look a little bit on the softer side. I feel like that's what this eyeshadow is kind of calling for. Hopefully you guys can see this palette. It looks like it's gone to war and back. I guess every shade except this shade down here. Poor palette. What I am going to do is add a little bit of inner corner highlight, and I'm going to do that using what we assume is the highlighter shade. Just very lightly. It's a little bit on the darker end, but we gotta use what we gotta use. I mean, I like it on my lid. I don't like it for my inner corner. What I am gonna do though, because we are reviewing a Rimmel palette, I'm just gonna dive into another Rimmel palette. This is the Jewel Rocks edition, and I'm just gonna go into this much lighter color, and hopefully that's gonna zhuzh this up a little bit. Okay, yeah, there we go. There's some gold. Doesn't that look much better? And now maybe for a little bit of brow bone highlight, I think the one in the actual Rimmel palette is soft enough that it's not gonna do anything super crazy. I'm not looking for a super crazy brow bone highlight. I promise I can speak. Very nice. And that, my friends, is the finished look. I mean, what do you think? Personally, I really like it. I have nothing to complain about at the moment. Even if I hold my handheld mirror from a distance, I think it looks really good. I mean, what I'm seeing right now is my inner corner highlight pop. Like, thank you, Jewel Rocks palette. But the other shadows that I've used from this palette here are nice and soft. I actually enjoy that, especially for an everyday look. I think this is a really nice palette to dive into. So the two colors that I haven't dove into is this pink one over here. Let's see what this sucker does. Okay. So that's what it looks like right there. That's not too bad. I mean, it's pink-ish. Let me actually compare it to the shade that I used on my lid. Like, how much pinkier are you, you know? So there's the coppery shade that I have on my lid and the pinky one next to it. So there are differences in the two colors, but they're not super drastic. I mean, if you're really looking at them from far away, I don't think you could tell that they were a different color. I kind of wish there was maybe a little more variation in the tones, but what they put in this palette I think works with what's in this palette, if that makes any sense. Now the other color I haven't dove into is this cream product right here. Hopefully you can see that right there. I mean, it has a really nice sheen to it. It is more of a canary gold color. That might have actually looked good in my inner corner. I just didn't want to take the chance and ruin the look. Overall, what do I think of this palette? I like it. Is there anything extraordinary about it? Absolutely not. Do you need this in your collection? Probably not. But if you are looking for a vegan formula for an eyeshadow at the drugstore, this is a really good option to consider. You saw how well it applied. I think the colors in this palette at least were very pigmented. They blended out beautifully. The metallics aren't super reflective, but they still pack enough punch to make your lid look nice and shiny. If these palettes happen to go on sale, I might invest in another one, but for the time being, I have lots of other eyeshadow palettes that I am certainly happy with. But at the end of the day, if you ask me, is this palette worth it? I'd say yes. It's a great palette. I like it. This is a great color story, good for everyday wear. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And that's gonna do it for this review slash first impressions, I guess. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, you know the drill. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you want to keep up with Dimitra, that is me, outside of YouTube, you are more than welcome to do that by following me on all of my social media, which I always link for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are all having an amazing day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, healthy, and safe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!